Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to another recording of Hearthstone. Today is Friday, September 7th. We're on the European account and we're trying to get priest victories, but we're not really making a lot of progress there. So I really have no other priest deck. So unless I was to go build a priest deck for some reason, which I'm not sure I have a reason to, I don't have a... Ooh. Also, apparently, I never got the Tavern Brawl done. Good thing I checked. I know I got it done on the Americas, but I kind of need to go back and check that later on today too. So maybe I can play as the priest in the Tavern Brawl and just play twice and get victories here, and then we can move over to the Asian account. Still have a ton of news, even though this is my third recording of the day. But I want to get as much of it through as possible. So we have a game here that's 100% of 12 user reviews already, called Another Spirit. It says it's an indie story-rich female protagonist game. It says a teenager who's lost her sight, and actually I'm going to hold on to these two cards. And a mysterious cat team up in a surreal fantasy adventure into the unexpected, weaving a tale that brings together some of the world's greatest minds. Monet, Tesla, Edison, and other historical cultural icons, which is really ambitious. I'm actually surprised more games don't try to bring in famous people into their games. Let's see. Let's look at the screenshots. It seems like it's pretty well animated. Maybe there's a little lack of polish on some of it, so it might feel a little blurry. A lot of the game is darkness, as the character is blind. Like, inherently you have this disconnect because it's a third-person side 2.5D perspective. There's a disconnect between what the character could see and what the player can see. 21 achievements, 15% off at $16.99. So yeah, Another Sight looks interesting enough. It is the first game from this developer, and whoever is playing me right now is not connecting well, if I was to guess. The publisher has published one other game that was rated positive and one other game that was rated mixed, so that's not anything too terrible. So Another Sight goes on the wish list, and we'll keep an eye out on it. No pun intended. Let's try that again. Did I play as a priest? I'm pretty sure I did. Next we have a game on Steam called Paratopic, P-A-R-A-T-O-P-I-C. Let's see, it says smuggled contraband VHS tapes across the border, discover the remnants of an illicit industry, prepare for an assassination. This is Paratopic, an atmospheric retro 3D horror adventure through a colossal fever dream.
Anduin versus Anduin.
But what is this game really?
The light shall bring victory.
Well, the one thing I'll say here is that this looks like a Windows 95 level of graphics game. It's just extremely low polygons in drawing the characters and drawing the people. If there were no people in this game at all and just environments, it would be a lot less recognizable. But when you're looking at somebody's face and it barely has 4 triangles on it, that's just an obvious lack of ability to render 3D models or draw 3D models. See, this game has 20 Steam achievements. It's $5.49, but I really just have to skip it. Like, it just looks too bad. It's 96% positive with 30 user reviews. What in the world could convince me to play this? Let's look at a positive review.
I wonder.
Let's see. Discover something and play it. And then end the turn. Here's a recommended. A very strange game with a cool aesthetic and a creepy story. I really like these super old school graphics that make it seem scarier somehow. The mapping seems really neat. The game is quite short and there isn't much to it. Yeah, no, sorry. Even in your praise, you've convinced me not to play this game. So yeah, Paratropic looks like a skippable game to me. Let's see. Continue to
come close and listen.
That's not a mech though. This Tavern Ball was horrible. Next we have a game on Steam called Photo Flash. That's F-O-T-O space Flash 2. The sequel to everyone's favorite sexy scavenger hunt game is here. Can you save a dying model by making a pinup calendar? I believe that I saw a YouTuber actually playing a game called Photo Flash that looked a lot like this, so this must be the same studio. I'll double check that in a second. Basically what you do is you run around and you have to accomplish goals, and if you please the girls around here, they'll let you take their photo in this RPG Maker-esque game.
Silenced, but deadly.
You're really, like, even if you had all of the photos just lined up, you're probably only going to see about 5, and that's it. And then the rest of the game is just wasting your time. In fact, let's go look at Photo Flash 1 from the same developer. It's rated 93% positive with 214 users. It came out February 1st, 2018, so they didn't even wait a year to release a sequel, which maybe is a good idea, maybe is a bad idea. Honey Pop 2 has been announced and is in development. One of the things I'll say about Honey Pop in particular is Honey Pop 2 seems to have aged the returning characters in such a way that they now look much I'm trying to avoid using a derogative term here, much more sexually aggressive way of standing, dressing, wearing makeup. So where the first game it seemed like the characters were slightly reserved considering it was a sex game, the second game it seems like every single picture you're going to see of the Honey Pop characters is going to have them in a pretty skimpy outfit, and I'm not sure if their personalities are going to reflect that in some way also. But that is something I'm slightly worried about. Let's go ahead and just play this. Yeah, Photo Finish 1 has 10 girls, it says. Let's see that. Like, here's the negative review for Photo Finish 1. It says the pictures you get in Photo Flash is way tamer than I expected. There's also too much underwear. and only one bare butt, and no genitalia at all ever shown. So yeah, disappointing game, I would imagine. Probably not worth the $2.54 that Photo Flash 2 is asking. It has 10 girls also. So yeah. And I believe it was Jesse Cox, the YouTuber who's on the Co-Optional podcast that covered that game. Like, I really hate what he does with his channel, and I don't watch a lot of it at all, or any of it really, because he really is just trying to pander to, like, I would say prepubescent fans, that he's trying to play these sex games on Twitch or YouTube knowing he's not going to show anything and censor it, otherwise he's going to get his channel banned. And so it's really just a pandering for views and for shock value. Moving on, we have a game called Unknown Fate on Steam. It seems to be a VR story-rich puzzle game. Immediately what I see here is it also supports Tobii eye tracking. I see a level of polish for this VR game that I very rarely, if ever, this very well may be the first time I've ever even seen this level of polish. Let's see, it looks really, really good. I think I could have played better than that. Let's see. Unknown Fate is 15% off for $12.74, and it looks good. Can you play it without VR? I think this one I'm going to put on my follow list and follow it just in case I ever do get VR. Let's see. It says designed for PC and VR alike. And I don't see anything here that says you have to have VR.
I must consider.
So yeah, I can just wishlist this game. Like, keep an eye on it. Let's see, what else do we want to do? We want to keep on playing and try and get a victory.
Join or die!
Moving on. TechRaptor has an article. Nintendo delays the upcoming Nintendo Direct. This is because there was a big earthquake in Hokkaido. Nintendo has delayed the Nintendo Direct. It was supposed to occur on September 6th. There's a lot of speculation that this was going to be them talking about their online service. Let's see, the earthquake left 10 dead and paralyzed transportation in the area. This was Typhoon Jebi also caused a lot of damage and mudslides.
I must consider.
So yeah, it's going to take Japan a little bit of time to get back going. Inherently, that's one of the things about the United States being such a giant landmass, is that if there were more businesses and activities happening in the mainland, in the center of the country, there would be a lot less likelihood of a hurricane or tornado devastating areas. And even though that, for the most part, people in the United States tend to be a little coastal, they like to be within 100 miles of the coast, whether it's the southern coast, eastern coast, or western coast. The odds that you would get hit by a hurricane on the east side, west side, and southern side at the same time are pretty low. Moving on, we have a game on Steam called Sokoban the RPG. So this looks like an RPG Maker game. Let's see. It features over 100 traditional Sokoban puzzles, including logic, riddles, and custom and immersive instrumental soundtracks. See, and the problem here is that it just always looks so ugly. Like, there could be literally thousands of good RPG Maker games out there, and they just all look so hideous to me that I would never give them the time of day. At least I kind of know where at least one of my biases is in that instance. Like, this just looks not good. Anyway, Sokoban the RPG is 15% off for $10.19. What's weird is the game I thought was called Sokoban, I don't see here. Like, I do not see any puzzles at all unless there's some weird way in which they're being implemented. I'm just seeing every screenshot as a top-down RPG Maker 8-bit looking game. And like, I kind of watched all the trailer and I didn't see any puzzles either. I'm like skipping through the trailer a second time now. Yeah, there's nothing here that I would call Sokoban puzzles, or puzzles at all.
I must consider.
Right. Maybe I should just give up on things like this. Like, the chance of me winning here is 0. I should save myself. Save myself some frustration. Just concede and move on.
You have best.
Save everybody some time here. Let's open our pack, take a little bit of a break, take a breath. I still am really hating the lemonade background. Ooh, a rare, an epic, and a legendary. This is probably the best kind of pack you could ever get. Of course, you could get a golden. Now, the question will come down to how many of those were new or old. Well, the epic, the rare, and the other 2 cards were all duplicates. So I've got 1 new legendary, and Deathwing is certainly a legendary card to have. And when I get back, probably next expansion, to doing an HS replay deck rebuilds, it's gonna start to make more sense when I have more cards like Deathwing. Moving on, we have a game called Achievement Collector Cat. Obviously, it's an achievement game with 100 Steam achievements for 89 cents right now with 10% off. It's a total piece of garbage game. Nobody should buy it. Like, Steam is going to get down to the point where anybody who's bought an achievement collector game, anything that they just find out is a troll game that they're stopping people from playing, they're going to start just taking those off your game list. And one would hope they'd give you store credit, but I wouldn't be surprised if you just lose your money completely, and you lose all the achievements, and you lose everything. Let's see, Rock Paper Shotgun has an article. Richard Cobbett and Wadjet Eyes Vampire RPG Nighthawk swoops onto Kickstarter. This is a Kickstarter hype game article, so no reason to even have talked about that one. Here's a slightly interesting article from PC Gamer: how modders are removing enemies from games to create stress-free experiences. So what games are they removing it from? Apparently Dark Souls, Aliens Isolation. Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's a complete list in this article, though. Or perhaps the complete list is just Dark Souls 1. Mirror's Edge makes some more sense if you were to take out the fighting that was bad in Mirror's Edge in the first place. I don't know how many games, though, that really works with. I could think of quite a few that would kind of suck. It'd be interesting to play Super Mario Bros. 1 with no enemies, but it really wouldn't be the right experience. And if you're a lot of fighting games and such, it would make no sense to remove the enemies. Moving on, Your Gamer has a article. Fortnite adds a capture the flag style mode called Getaway. I don't really care about Fortnite, but I figure I'll mention it.
A clever concoction.
Let's see, we have a game on Steam called Torn Tales Rebound Edition. It's an expanded version of the original Torn Tales based on the classic story. Check out co-op, play more custom items, crafting, new quests, and new arenas. So this almost feels like this is a text-based RPG. Let's see. But it's not. It's a top-down, like, twin-stick shooter Diablo-esque game. Doesn't look like it has any kind of menu to it, or the menu is all at the top, with cooldowns just popping up and disappearing when the cooldown is gone. Torn Tales Rebound Edition is $14.99. I don't think there's anything here that interests me, because if I was going to play a game that was like Diablo, I really think it would just be Diablo. Like, that's where it always kind of boils down to, is if a game, personally to me, feels like it's just a clone of a well-known series, why not play the well-known series? And I think the majority says the same, because this developer has mixed reviews for 3 of their games, including the original Torn Tales, and nothing higher than mixed reviews. When did Torn Tales come out, by the way? June 17th, 2017, so it's not even a game that is old enough to justify its score. Also, this game only has like 16 user reviews in its entire lifetime. I think that's how that works. Yeah. So, moving on. Let's see, we've got a game on Steam called Arrow Date. That's E-R-O, as in Eros, God of Love.
Medicine insects.
This looks like a very Western and bad quality drawing characters. It's a match 3 game, kind of like Candy Crush. It looks like a cell phone game. There's 3 characters with different hairstyles and different hair colors. I would say that they probably are all running about the same as far as bust size and body shape, though. And yeah, you're matching like different colored underwear in a stripped version of Match 3. So yeah, it just doesn't look like it's a great quality game. It's in English and Russian, which is also questionable, certainly. What am I gonna do here? Swap our minions, attack with another minions.
A shadow.
Beware the shadow.
Is someone injured?
think I'm about to win if I can play this right. Arrow date is 36% off for 96 cents. And let's look at this developer. They've made a collection of other games that don't look interesting. There's one called Girlfriend Cards. Let's see what this is. It's just a match 2 card flipping game, and then there's some kind of deviant art / furry, I think, pictures. Doesn't even seem like there's too many that you'd be collecting. Yep. So another bad sex game that was allowed on Steam, whereas I've still not yet to see any good ones get approved. I wonder if the delay is still ongoing somehow. Like, could it possibly be? Yeah, it really could be. That all of the people who are now filling out and self-reporting get put on some list that never gets looked at. So we're hearing sweet nothings, but until we see actions from Valve, until we start seeing things like Honey Pop 2 get released on Valve, which it's not done in development, but on Steam, I'm still not 100% sure I believe them. Next game we have on Steam is called Submerged VR Escape Room. Dark Screenshot Syndrome. More of these VR escape rooms. I really probably would play a decent collection of these games.
Is someone injured?
If I had it within me to, like, if I had the capability to play Steam VR games, I would play them, certainly, or some of them. A lot of them not. This one, I think not. Let's see. Submerged VR Escape Room was 20% off for $3.99, and for the screenshots that are showing me, it's not showing anything that's high texture enough, or that seems like there's any enemies around you, or that there's a lot of puzzles or anything. I'm just seeing walls, basically. We already talked about this, but TechRaptor has an article. The classic Williams pinball tables are coming to Pinball FX3. There's kind of nothing to say there right now. I just opened that article a second time to remind myself, I suppose. Just keep on playing. We have a game called Endless Fighter on Steam that looks like it's a beat 'em up endless fighter game. They're saying it's a stress reliever and functional game. Functional, I think, is accurate, but anything above that, not really. It's really zoomed in on the characters, who are not animated well at all, which is crazy because right now the character is throwing knives and just throwing them off the side of the screen. The 3D modeling is pretty bad. So yeah, this game Endless Fighter is $4.99. I don't think so, though.
Meddlesome insects. What is my purpose?
I'm still just trying to find the last piece of this puzzle. And the developer of Endless Fighter hasn't made anything else, so that's another thing. Let's see. Next game we have on Steam is called Monster Mix. It looks like it is you click on two things and you mix them together, so it's a visual equation of 2048. In fact, I'm playing, or was playing, I think I'll probably uninstall it, a game where you mix monkeys together to get bigger, better monkeys, in that endless clicker style game, very similar to this. Monster Mix is in English and Russian. It has 72 achievements, so each achievement is a letter. So they're still doing that thing where they're making achievement letters so that theoretically a person could put them on their Steam profile, but the Steam profiles allegedly, according to Valve, won't even allow you to use those items. So
I comply.
So if that's the reason you're buying an achievement game like this, you're going to be sorely disappointed. Monster Mix is 35% off for 64 cents, and I don't need to really even look at it. It's clearly an achievement game made by the same developer who made Arrow Date, and released on the exact same date. Gamatsu has an article, Geshizu Gaiji Gaju Nakama wo So Dateyu launches November 15th. I'm not gonna try and spell all that out. It seems like what it is you choose an egg and you raise animals with it. It's kind of like a Tamagotchi type game, raising mice and other creatures, squirrels, rabbits. Let's see, have I still not... I still don't think I've found what I'm looking for. But whatever, I got a victory, so let's be done with that.
Well played.
Yeah, I don't think this game would come out to the West anyways. If it did, it's going to come out to the Switch eShop. And that's it. Oh man, and I've played late enough that I've got another thing to play, so I don't know, maybe I'm going to just let that roll over. I think I may just let that roll over till Monday, and I should be fine. Let's move over to the Asian account. Alright, Gamasutra has an article. Tencent suspends community manager following sexual harassment accusations. Tencent has suspended the global community manager Nick Zasowski, Zasowske, as it investigates numerous sexual harassment accusations leveled against him in the past days. Those accusations come from a series of tweets from HP Omen partnership lead John Sylvester on the behalf of an unnamed woman that received an unsolicited explicit picture from Zasowski over Instagram direct messages. Let's see. Should we roll this? Is this the guy that... No, I think that was a whole different story, and I think those were comic book creators where somebody on Twitter was posting pornographic images or to this other guy they were harassing. Let's see. Yeah, I think that was a completely different story and not video game related. So let's just stick to the facts here. Speaking of sticking to facts, what do I need to do on the Asian account? Droid or Rogue. So I need to play Droid. Not Droid, Druid. Token Druid, start playing now. Hop into the game. Let's see. Sylvester's original tweet includes screenshots of the conversation and later received replies from multiple other women who said they'd received messages of a similar nature from Zasowski's in the past. Zasowski himself changed, I skipped a paragraph here, and later deleted several of his social media accounts after the original accusations were shared. He has since been suspended from his position according to the response from the Arena of Valor staff member on Reddit as Tencent investigates the claims. So even a Chinese company like Tencent is not going to tolerate harassment of that level. So yeah.
None will survive.
So this will be an interesting story. It's kind of interesting since this came out September 5th that nobody hopped on it and decided to write more articles or make hay on it. You'd think almost Kotaku and Polygon would have written 5 different articles over this. But for some reason, maybe because it's Tencent, maybe because it's a Chinese company, maybe because of some other reason, I haven't heard a lot of talk about this, which I'm fine with. Like, taking care of business again. Just like accusations came about, and the company seemed to act appropriately in a reasonable amount of time. Unless it comes out that they knew what he was doing long before and just didn't act until they were called out on it, which maybe, but we don't know if that's the case or not. Moving on, we have a game on Steam called Groundless. It's a local multiplayer arena game where you build and destroy the ground you walk on. So, okay, it has a little bit of an interesting idea there, but it's like a top-down, your attacks create the ground, but also your attacks seem to be able to destroy the ground. Smash Brothers style game, although I'm not sure how much of this really is a Smash Brothers style game actually. Seems like you basically only have one life. When you fall, you die. Well, there might be some different gameplays. It's multiplayer and local multiplayer, but no online multiplayer, so this game is kind of dead to begin with. Like, I don't see how you... Yeah, I really don't see how you create a game like this and not put online multiplayer on it. Just keep on attacking. Yeah, Groundless is $14.99 with no discount. I could not justify that price. It's also the first game from this developer on Steam. Let's see. Why do I have the Double Fine CEO's Twitter open? Was there something he posted that I was interested in, or was he just replying to Randy Pitchford? Like, Randy Pitchford is really complaining about Twitter, so he honestly needs to just get off of it. He complained about being on Twitter nearly a month ago, and he's just pushing this idea that he wants censorship to be even higher on Twitter than it is, and at a certain point, either stop complaining about it and accept it for what it is, or stop using it. Yeah, I think that's the reason why I had this Twitter feed open. Yeah, in fact, there's Randy Pitchford's. And they got into this really complicated analogy where they're talking about Twitter as if it's a coffee shop, to the point when I saw the post replies to other posts, I'm thinking to myself, what are they talking about? What coffee shop are they going to? And I'm not even getting that it's an analogy. Let's see. Now what? Let's just hit that one.
for no one.
What a ball I fight.
For the wild.
Just gonna play a little conservatively here. See, now I'm trying to scroll down. Scroll down Randy Pitchford's Twitter feed to even see this conversation, and it looks like it may have been deleted. Or whatever. Like at a certain point I need to probably just stop following Randy Pitchford. I don't think there's anything valuable he's saying ever about anything, being the CEO of Gearbox or otherwise. Okay, that's one victory. We need one more druid. We could play Hunter. Keep it interesting. Spell Hunter. Let's see. We've got a game on Steam called Crazy Alchemist. Let's see what this is.
Rexar versus Rexar.
It's a VR game, but you can also play it without VR. Seems like you're wandering around as a witch in a sexy witch Halloween outfit type description. And I think you're gonna be making potions, and maybe you're gonna be dungeon crawling to get the ingredients to make the potions. There's a level of polish here though that's more than just an extremely low effort thing. It is kind of low polygon, in the sense that it looks very cel shaded and kind of cartoony, more than I would like. And I'm watching this trailer. It's halfway through, and all this alchemist has done is walked around from one place to another place, and then they click on doors, they just fast travel to that area. So I'm not 100% sure that you go anywhere or do anything, that you're just wandering around this area, this building. Then there's like a wait timer as the alchemy crucible is cooking.
To my side.
Yeah. I'm literally not seeing any game here. It's like the story is you're playing as Lyle, L-Y-L-E. You're trying to resurrect your parents, and you have to become the greatest alchemist ever to do that. Let's see, what else could I do? Just this. Just hit that. Now I'm into the second video, and I'm not seeing anything. I'm skipping to the screenshots. I'm not seeing anything. A lot of this looks like this could be just asset flips. Like they took one almost completely pre-built game and flipped it. Just put some menus on top of it to do the alchemist thing. This is in English and simplified Chinese. It's early access. It's 10% off for $8.99. Sorry, like this game would have sold me. It really would have had it shown any kind of game in it. There's also an early access game from this developer from July 11th that called Diary of Defender, and yeah, so why do you have two early access games? Diary of Defender looks like a war style fighting game in VR. I think it's in VR. Maybe it isn't actually. No, it is.
Quickly.
So yeah, just go ahead and play this. Anyways, moving on. Game Sutra has an article. Game intelligence firm SuperData has been acquired by the analytics company Nielsen. This happened at the end of last stream on Wednesday. So Nielsen Holdings has announced in a press release its acquisition of the games market intelligence firm. I don't know if I like the idea of it being called an intelligence firm. Like that seems to be an odd way to describe somebody who is an analytics firm.
To my side.
But okay.
Job's done.
Let's see. SuperData Research, known for collecting and interpreting data from customers. SuperData will help strengthen Nielsen's games and esports research sections, which offers publishers, developers, console manufacturers, media platforms, esports brands, and industry stakeholders data from customer research. While SuperData and Nielsen share their numbers publicly, it's worth noting that research pulled from either company should be taken with a grain of salt. It's not entirely clear how they interpret or collect data, and the language surrounding their methodology seems vague. It's interesting that Gamasutra would editorialize there. But they definitely did. They put their own opinion in the news report. What you need to do if you wanted to say something like that as a news reporter is you needed to have an outside independent party have made those claims previously, and then you could repeat the claims that were made by another party. But just saying it out directly yourself is not the way to do things. GameIndustry.biz has an article. PlayStack acquires Hisome, Hisome. London-based publisher renames studio to PlayStack OY as it gains a majority stake. Hisome is a Finnish developer. I would have almost certainly thought it was an Asian one. Let's see. Just keep on playing secrets.
I hunt alone.
Let's see. Is there anything more in this article worth mentioning? No, not really. I just realized that something's going weird here. I changed how my duplicate tabs work, and I'm about to hit the Humble Bundle store, but there's several other games listed past that point. So yeah, my tabs are just everywhere. Next game we have on Steam is called Need for Spirit Drink and Drive Simulator. This is basically a troll game. I don't feel like you need a game like this, and if you were going to make a game like this, the thing that you would need it to do is to be done very respectfully and for the purposes of education, where I don't think that's what this is. I think this is potentially going to try to leave the impression that since you've played this game, you are now safe to drive impaired, and I don't agree with that thought at all. I mean, even if you were safe to drive impaired, you're never safe to drive impaired because you'll get a ticket or arrested. Interesting also, this game is 1% off for $2.96. I did not even know you could do 1% off. Talk about cheap. PC Gamer has this article. I think I mentioned it already. Patriot gets in on the portable PCIe SSD game. Undercuts Samsung on price. So a new portable SSD. Still pretty expensive though. If you want a 512 gigabyte portable SSD, it's $270 on Amazon right now. Not really a solution, I think, for most people. At a certain point, you have to question how much is it worth it to you to not just take a computer apart and plug in a regular SSD into the computer, or use an external SSD eSATA port and an adapter there on a regular hard drive. Of course, I guess if you have a laptop, there might be a problem with doing something like that. Moving on, PC Gamer has an article. Old school RuneScape comes to mobile devices in October with full cross-platform play. Looking at a screenshot of what RuneScape apparently is, it's not what I thought it was. I thought RuneScape was a fantasy game. What I'm seeing here is something that looks more closer to Second Life. Let's see. And let's look at the bundles. I did end up purchasing the $1 tier of the Unity bundle to get Oxenfree and Air, which was those two games on Steam were selling at maximum price of about $20 each. So $40 worth of two games for $1. Not a bad deal, in my opinion. Let's see. There's the Humble Monthly bundle, which apparently is giving you some kind of Overwatch access and some loot boxes. Let's see. Is there any other bundles? The fact that when I put the mouse over something and it changes is not a good development of their website. Hey, I've got a victory here. Let's play this and win. Are we making it to where we're supposed to be? Let's see. So, where are we now? Think we need to play a few more spells. So let's hop back in. I'm also not sure how much more time there is on the timer. Well, about 5 minutes, which is going to be right about the point. So there's a game on Steam called Grid Games Color Coded. It's like a one-screen Unity game. It looks like garbage. 10% off for 89 cents.
I will fight with honor.
Gamatsu has an article for Langrisser 1 and 2 debut trailer. That's Langrisser, which is an RPG. 2 RPGs. 2 out for the PS4 and Switch, February 7th. 2019 in Japan. I think it might come to the West, maybe. It looks interesting in the trailer, but I don't know how much of that really is the gameplay. So, yeah. Doesn't look too bad. Start. But I guess I'd like to see an actual gameplay trailer of it when it comes out a little bit earlier. Right now I'm not seeing anything. There's a game on Steam called Psyburst, P-S-Y-B-U-R-S-T. Side-scrolling Smash Brothers clone with 8-bit small characters.
Quickly.
A lot of Smash Brothers clones, or things that I would just call Smash Brothers clones. Apparently it has a story mode, and in the story mode you're doing some platforming, and you're moving from area to area.
Reporting for duty.
Well, that's interesting at least. Now they've changed my opinion on this game from being just a Smash Brothers clone to being a platforming game.
Justice demands retribution.
And it seems like it's trying very heavily
Retribution.
to
Job's done.
to show characters that you play as having a lot of different types of weapons, and you have to get really good at using the weapons. So this could be actually very well programmed. This is a single player and multiplayer. It's $6.99. The animation style's weird. It's the first game from this developer. I'm not willing to reject this game though at the moment. So I'm gonna be generous and put it on the wish list and see what other people have to say about it.
Justice demands retribution. Job's done.
Like every single mainstream media video game mainstream media site had the exact same article about Steam's progress report. So I've seen at least 6 different sites say the exact same thing and really have nothing different to say, because you're just getting your information from Valve's progress report. So it's just ad copy. It's just repetition of what anybody could have read the progress report and gotten the exact same information, actually in a better format than most of the websites showed. See, how was that one still open? Because that was a duplicate tab. It shouldn't have been allowed. Okay, there's a game on Steam called Space Orb. It looks a lot like some other ball rolling games that I've seen. You're in a 3D environment, and this magnetic orb seems like it has the ability to roll off edges, which inherently I would think that means it could go anywhere and solve any puzzle pretty easily. It also can jump, which is odd. Seems like there's some other kinds of orbs you're trying to avoid, but I don't know if maybe there's like a magnetic field around this ball, so it can only move. But I've seen this game. I've played this game before. Not this exact game, but I've seen it where it has the exact same tricks over and over again. So many holes.
Quest accepted.
There we go. This game, Space Orb, is early access for $4.99, and I'm gonna look. Allegedly, this is the first game from this developer team, but I have seen these exact same mechanics used with slightly different textures. There's probably an asset that you can buy in the Unity store. Alright, next game we have on Steam is called Space Fox Kimi. It's an RPG Maker space adventure game, according to the description. And I'm gonna just quickly look. Yeah, the animation is terrible too. It's like these fox, anthropomorphic fox characters that aren't drawn very well.
Must move quickly.
And this is the first game from this developer, so they're saying it's gonna be a whole series of games, is what they're hoping. I doubt that. We have a game on Steam called Galactic Dominion. It says it's a quick-paced 4X strategy game available in either real-time or turn-based mode. I like the idea of selling something as a quick turn-based 4X game. Speeding up that process would be nice. There we go. But I'm looking at the trailer on this game, and there's just no graphics in it. There's a few, but for the most part it looks like you're playing mostly menus, and that's just boring looking. Galactic Dominion is 15% off for $12.74. We have a game called Wizard 101.
Reporting for duty.
And it's a massive multiplayer free-to-play RPG. Let's see. Apparently this developer is releasing this. Apparently this came out in 2008, September 2nd, 2008. And so they're like re-releasing it as a 10th anniversary thing on Steam.
Justice demands retribution.
Could have played this. Honestly, it doesn't look too bad for a 10-year-old game. Where's it? 101. It's free to play. Let's see, it says it's had an all-time peak according to Steam charts of 487 users.
Reporting for duty.
The light protects me.
So yeah, I think I think this is probably a game that would only be really interesting to people who had played it 10 years ago. It's also like the only game that this developer has on Steam, so that this must have been through a website previously. Yeah, it just does not seem like that's the smart move. Let's hit this and this and that and just win. And finally, we have an interesting story here to wrap up. Brianna Wu's Congress bid fails, vows to run again in 2020. Quote, America needs better leadership more than we need another video game, so I'm here for good. Developer Brianna Wu was unsuccessful in her first campaign to run for US Congress, which I think, yeah, you don't run for Congress without having some other previous experience as a politician. Let's see. Wu announced her intention to vie for the position in the House of Representatives back in December 2016. The results of the Democratic primary came out yesterday, and with the New York Times reporting Wu lost the seat to 8-term Congressman Stephen Lynch, who secured 71% of the vote. Wu still managed to secure 23%, beating Air Force veteran Christopher Vall, who took with 6%. Okay, let's skip some of this because this really is just boiling down to politics, and it's going to have to boil down a little bit more, unfortunately, but it's going to have to be a necessity, because if somebody from the video game world is going into politics, that's probably a terrible thing. Brianna Wu's name sounds familiar. Also, her name seems weird because she does not look like somebody who would have the last name Wu to me. So, I am going to see what our Wikipedia says, and let's see if what Know Your Meme has to say, and let's see this article here too, because I believe Brianna Wu is one of the main names in Gamergate. So had she run for Congress and succeeded, she probably would have introduced some bad legislation and bad ideas into it. So I'm scrolling down Wikipedia. And I heard something that some of these like dramas and SJW stuff is from like con drama that happened decades ago and is still getting fought out.
Do you like to play with fire?
She made a game called Revolution 60, and then she ran a Kickstarter game. Kickstarted to release it onto Windows, which took her 2 years longer than she promised. Which Kickstarter and being late on a Kickstarter promise is not something that I inherently think is too big of an issue. Let's see. Run for Congress. We decided immediately after 2016 American presidential election to run for Congress seat in Greater Boston area, focusing on in part on privacy rights and online harassment, but also the wider Massachusetts economy. Let's see. Let's keep on playing. Like I said, I think I said the last game was going to be our last one, but I want to cover this. I'm scrolling down through Twitter.
Justice demands retribution.
Okay, here we go. Twitter. Gamergate related harassment. Main article, Gamergate. Which, when I hover over Gamergate controversy on Wikipedia, it says Gamergate stemmed from a harassment campaign conducted primarily through the use of the hashtag Gamergate. The controversy centered on issues of sexism and progressivism in video game culture. Gamergate is also a blanket term for controversy, as well as the harassment. Yeah. So clearly Wikipedia's picked a side to editorialize on what Gamergate was. In October 2014, Wu posted multiple tweets about a Gamergate advocates, ridiculing them for fighting in an apocalyptic future where women are 8% of programmers and not 3%. While she was monitoring 8chan's pro Gamergate Chan board /GG/ I guess, anonymous users posted sensitive personal information about her, including at least one post containing her address. Subsequently, I don't know if any of that's being depicted accurately there. Maybe. I know that there's been several people who have leaked their own information to claim that they were being doxxed. But I also know that some people have been doxxed. Subsequently, Wu began receiving multiple specific rape and death threats, including her address, causing Wu to flee her home. Oh yeah, I remember that story. Yeah, that was not accurately reported.
Thank you.
Let's see. Along with Anita Sarkeesian and Zoe Quinn. Yeah, that's the 3 names right there. 3 people who should never be in the video game industry or any industry that you care about. Like, when you get in the likes of Anita Sarkeesian and Zoe Quinn, which Zoe Quinn right now is trying to do to the comic book industry what she tried to do to the video game industry. Let's see.
Reporting for duty.
Not on my watch.
In early 2017, there's a lot more accusations of what she claimed was happening to her and what were claims. In early 2017, the Federal Bureau of Investigation closed the investigation on the matter. The FBI identified 4 men who sent threats and obtained confessions from 2 of them, one of whom said he had sent the threat as a joke, but understood that it was a federal crime to send threatening communications to anyone and will never do it again. The U.S. Attorney for the District of Massachusetts declined to prosecute, giving no specific reason. Reacting to the report, Wu stated the FBI did not care about the investigation and that she was livid. And yeah, okay, I could certainly see why they wouldn't care about the investigation. They've got bigger things to deal with. Which is interesting because, like, had she won her congressional seat, she would then have some small amount of political influence on the FBI. She could be sitting on some committee that has oversight of the FBI or the oversight of the budget for the FBI, and she, for very personal reasons, might use her power in some way to exact revenge. Let's see what Know Your Meme has to say about it. Like, I would say, to be fair, Brianna Wu is the least recognizable of the extreme SJWs who attack video game users, and it really doesn't even have too much to do with Gamergate, as they were going to attack video game players, gamers, for being sexist and misogynist regardless. They probably were doing it before, and they probably would have done it since. Let's see. Let's see, what else? What else do we need to do here? Just probably need to wrap up. Yeah.
My hand is too full.
On September 1st, 2015, according to Know Your Meme, Wu and Ellen McGrady published an article titled "Metroid Samus Aran is a Transgendered Woman, Deal with It." So, I mean, that's basically what you can expect, is just ridiculous things. I can guarantee you that claim is false with 100% certainty, because I don't think Japanese people recognize, let alone even would ever write, a transgendered woman. Yep, but for the most part, she's not causing as much controversy as Anita Sarkeesian or Zoe Quinn, so even it being a pain to the video game world, she's not very successful. Let's try this. Just trying to play all the cards.
faith in the light.
I guess you take it from just as a good thing, though. Is like, if she's gonna waste her life trying to be a congressperson, then she's gonna stay out of the video game industry. So yeah, I guess we can be happy about that. Just look on the bright side of life. Let's see. It does bring out an interesting question. Who in the video game industry do I think would be a good politician? Honestly, the answer is nobody. But if I'm forced to pick, like, who would I specifically pick? Like, Reggie Fils-Aimé might be a good person to pick. Miyamoto might be a good person to pick. I doubt I would want Gabe Newell as a politician because I don't think he would actually do anything or run the country well. I don't think he runs Valve well. I imagine there's a whole list of like CEOs and type management type of people that would be closer to being qualified to be a politician, but almost with 100% certainty, I don't think that the politics that are ever prevalent in the video game world are the right politics for people in charge of the United States. Like, I don't think that's gonna turn out well if that were to happen. And I can even spread it out more to Silicon Valley. It's like, I don't think too many people in Silicon Valley as politics would also be good for a politics run. The one person I might say is maybe Bill Gates, but they've asked Bill Gates to run politics and be political, and he says it's not effective enough to be worth his time, which I think probably is right. And his efforts in curing malaria and stopping the spread of malaria, and his other efforts, charitable efforts as Bill Gates, are way better use of his time, in my opinion. Well, I'm scrolling down my Twitter feed and don't really have anything else to do, so this is the right time to end. Where are we on daily quests? There is one daily quest on the European account that I'm just going to let roll over, and I'm going to just double check off screen to make sure I've done the Tavern Brawl on the main account, but that's kind of all it is. So I stupidly left my keyboard on the other screen, so I had to exit out. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a bunch of links down below in the description box. And if you want to support me, down below there's links to gift me a game on Steam or support me through Patreon. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.